What's up, YouTubers? MediaShinobi here, and we got Jan reviewing Boku Dake. I always want to say Boku no Pico.
No!
It rolls off the tongue easier.
No! It's a
just
trap.
does.
It's a trap. So Erase is a psychological thriller slash mystery slash fantasy anime that revolves around the main character Satoru, who is a 29-year-old pizza delivery guy slash failed manga artist who has the ability of revival. Revival gives him the ability to travel back into the past, roughly about 5 to 10 minutes, and this is usually due to a life-threatening situation. All of a sudden, his mother is then murdered, and because of that, that activates revival one more time, but this time 18 years back into the past. He is now able to relive his childhood and potentially prevent a series of kidnappings, and also get the chance to get to the bottom of who was responsible for all of this. So that actually pretty much wraps up the plot, or at least the premise of this anime. And to give my rating straight up, I was debating between an 8.5 or a 9, but after, pretty much bulk watching the entire anime, I'd give it a 9. So in terms of the negatives, I don't really have any. If anything, I only have like a few minor issues. The first one would be the fact that it is slightly predictable. I wouldn't say they were spoon feeding you. I wouldn't go that far, but the hints they kept dropping were pretty obvious. Now the second one isn't necessarily an issue, it's more of a nitpick. The balance between all three kidnapping cases were very unbalanced. I know the primary case was the first one, and I'm not saying that was a bad thing. It's just simply the integrity of balance itself, because they kept emphasizing 3 kidnapping cases, but they pretty much only emphasized 1 and the other 2 were just there. And my last one, it could be both a positive and a negative, but the ending itself. At first, when I watched it, I was like, oh, I thought there would be a little bit more to it, but after remembering that this is a seinen anime, then it kind of just clicked, and I'm like, oh, I'm cool with it. We've watched so much shonen animes as of late. We're so used to flashy highlights and endings and plot twists that, when you watch a seinen, they tend to be more subtle. They don't try to over-exaggerate. It was obvious that he would pretty much get a happy ending. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the fact that he lost, 15 years?
Wrong, happy ending.
Oh, that's so mean. What do you mean by that?
He spent like a month pretty much taking care of the girl, saving her life, showing her love, giving her breakfast.
That was the mom. That was the mom.
What? But he helped, okay? He spent all that time, and quite arguably, that's probably her first love.
I'm pretty sure if there was no time skip and, this was a perfect world, those two would have ended up together. When you give us this kind of a thumbnail / screenshot and we don't get that in the ending, it's a little bittersweet. I mean, don't get me wrong, Irie's cool and all, but she didn't get as much screen time in comparison to these two. I don't ship often, actually rarely, but the one time I do, no.
Not only that, she got with his friend. You can't tell me that's right. Because I feel guilty for spending 15 years of my life and you just been sleeping there and I left you.
I mean, to counter, he was fine with it. Even after he regained his memories, because he was the type of guy, he's the upstanding guy who just wanted best for everyone there. But like I said, it was still a pretty good ending for the most part. It was solid. And that pretty much just leaves the positives, which is everything else. I liked the animation. It really felt cinematic. They really put their time and effort. I also love the intro. I don't know why. I haven't been that captivated by a soundtrack in a while, since like Anohana. I probably will find a download for that song sooner or later. Even though the plot, like I said, was predictable, you could see it as a positive because it added value to the suspense. Because when you do know what's gonna happen, it's not always about how it ends, but how it gets there. Even though I already kind of knew, not even halfway in, that the teacher was the person behind all of the kidnappings, I just wanted to see how it was done. And for the most part, it was done pretty well. And I was really invested in the characters as well. It might just be due to the combination of the idea of regret and being honest to yourself, in addition to, a child's innocence, even though he's 29 years old, but still. It didn't feel forced. It felt real, like he really wanted to save these people. Other than that, that pretty much wraps up everything you liked about it. I mean, the only other thing is like, if there's a season 2, I don't think there's going to be a season 2. In fact, it doesn't need a season 2. I think it wrapped the story pretty well. So that pretty much wraps up this anime review. Like I said, I give it a solid 9. Really good anime. You're still indifferent, or not indifferent, you're still indecisive, that's the word. Yeah, you're between an 8.5 to a 9, but that's still a pretty damn good score. It's one of the better animes that came out this quarter, and arguably in the last couple of quarters, because I don't remember giving anything an 8.5 to a 9 lately, you know? So there's that. I would definitely recommend this to pretty much anybody. I would put this pretty high on your list of animes to watch this quarter. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it. If you guys leave a comment, we would love to read them. You know, theories, what you thought about the anime, any other additional works that we aren't aware of that you would recommend, go ahead and do that. Subscribe if you want to. We try to pump out this kind of content as much as we can. Also check us out on social media sites, Facebook, Tumblr, Google+. We try to keep those as updated as possible. And other than that, that pretty much is it. This is Jan and Scott, 2/3 of MediaShinobi, signing out.